When you start a startup, you want to minimize your risk and define a budget that is your worst case, so that you know if the startup is not a success, this is where I'm going to end up in the worst case. The challenge with that is that there's so many parameters, both things that you can control, but also things you cannot control, external factors, that this might be quite difficult if it is the first time you do it. It's actually difficult for everyone, for serial founders, especially if you change industries, but it's always a challenge. One way of doing it that helps you to structure it is you look at the things that you can control first. So the internal factors, what can you control? I can control for sure my cost. How many people do I want to have on my staff? Because I need certain jobs to be done in the company based on what solutions I want to provide to my customers. What is the minimum viable organization I need? And here you can define, do I need those people on the payroll, or do I need external help, or do I want external help? And weigh the pros and cons. Pro of internal is you can build up the competence. You might be faster doing it, but at the same time, it takes longer to hire people. And it takes longer also to, if things don't work out, to part ways and to let people go. Depending on where you are, whether you're in the US, whether you're in Europe. In Europe, it can be 3 months sometimes, which is quite long. The same goes actually for hiring people. So that's to be taken into account. Other things, of course, are the no-brainers like, licenses and all those kind of things that you can control. The more difficult things are the things that you cannot control, like external factors. How long will it take clients to decide on whether they're going to buy my product, independent on whether it's a B2C or a B2B project or program? Other things are, how's the economy going? Other things are, how long will it take for me to validate my idea, and also for the market to give feedback, or for my PR and marketing campaigns to actually get traction. Those are all the kind of factors that you have to take into account when you define this worst case. And ideally, of course, you quantify it. How do you quantify it? By looking at how much time it will take the different things to get done. So my team to do different jobs, potentially freelancers and externals, and you break it down into smaller steps to see, is this something you can afford in a minimum viable scenario to get the jobs done? The more experience you have as an entrepreneur, the closer you will be to your realistic case, because you might have gone through a number of scenarios that you're now able to see, to forecast, because you will better be able to take into account external factors. You're more realistic into determining, how long will it take a client to understand your product, to make a decision, to purchase it, maybe to spread the word, as opposed to a first-time founder who doesn't have this experience. And so to minimize the risk, best way to go about it is get experience on board, either with co-founders, with mentors, or if you have investors, through investors, and get an idea of all those external factors that you may not be able to control, and to get the best overview, best experience value rate. That's basically how you do it. And then you quantify it in terms of budget. And once you've done that, investors say the earlier you are in your process, the higher the contingency. So if you want to be super safe, you usually double it. And that gets closer to a realistic case. That's how you minimize your risk and define the worst case in the case things don't work out.